Black is daster sand. The water's all gritty.
Steelenburgen growled, spitting out the last of the sand-filled water. The sandstorms of Scar were always a bastard to travel. They were almost the equivalent of a mega-vape explosion deep in the factories of Lular. Thick, smelly, and a pain in the ass to clean. Steelenburgen had been traveling the desert for about 2 weeks now. For what reason? Answers. Fortune? Anything to get his hands on, really. He had searched through every outpost, city, and even scraggly old huts across Scar. The past 2 weeks have been grueling on foot trek. His airfare on Scar was expensive, and mostly pointless, because it was smaller than the Ceresia system and the asteroid belt. In other words, a fucking micro-dick planet. There was only a few places left to check, and Steelenburgen was losing hope and smokes. Steelenburgen stops cold on a dune top, glassing the summit below.
Glockenspiel. The last outpost on this turgid smuffle of a planet.
Beyond the whirling whipperstorm of sand and endless dunes lie the small outpost of Glockenspiel, the most remote outpost in all of Scar, a bustling hive of the most exotic trade and the blackest of crimes. Some say the most cruel and unforgiving motherfuckers in the galaxy came from this outpost, and if anywhere housed answers and fortune, it'd be here. Descending to the gates below, Steelenburg raised his legendary Glock, which may look like a simple revolver, but this Glock had enough power to sever a Margot Smog's body in two, which, if you didn't know, was hard as balls to do. The gates of Glockenspiel give off an unusual vibe compared to other Scarian outposts, which usually guarded to ward off outlaws, smugglers, and the other type of unwanted water stinkers. But not here, too dangerous and too remote. Scarians don't even monitor the outpost because of how dangerous it is in and outside of the outpost. The gates were cracked and reeked of rotted plank. Steelenburgen was surprised how long they've held up when he entered the rickety old contraption.
Must be Bralak. Those bastards probably got one of everything in the galaxy here.
He stops dead at the side of a small trailer with a sign in neon pink letters labeled bar. He smiles a crooked smile, known only to bustler drinkers and dream-of-mean smokers. He had a brilliant idea. The door to the bar opens with a crackle and creak, alerting some bar patrons. Others just keep to their pints. The bar remains empty, however, so he takes his opportunity, like any good outlaw, and sits in the middle, slamming his fist on the wood countertop.
Oi, laddie, give me a pint of something to light. Fill up me water cans while you're at it.
He slings the water barrel onto the countertop with a thud, alerting the bartender to his wrist.
Yes, of course, sir.
The bartender stops dead, shriveling at the sight of Steelenburgen's shattered badge and holstered Glock.
It's Bry!
Steelenburgen gave the man a rather confused expression as he pulled out his raggy money pouch.
Free of charge!
The bartender took his watering cans and went out the back door.
Seems like you recognized me. Could be known even down in these parts.
Steelenburgen thought cocky-like to himself, but he remained vigilant. To get answers here, he'd have to let the vermin smugglers come to him. He sat at the bar side for quite a while, hat in hand. He drank it slow and savory, like one would to a giant Tesla-Norris's breast milk. He couldn't waste time or pints now. Someone had to come up to him eventually. He was the biggest target in the bar after all, and a criminal's always looking to make a quick buck. He knew that from experience. So much so that he doesn't even flinch at the sound of a rifle clicking from the freshest reload next to his ear.
Quite a strange time to be coming to a place like this, Bergen. Especially if someone's looking for a quick quid.
Steelenburgen swivels to face the man behind him.
Bavlarg, you're a sand slaggler.
The man's snake-like face shrivels at the comment. His rifle's cracked muzzle inches closer.
You're quite pale, my friend. This is not ideal to travel without refreshment. Barkeep.
The bartender pokes his head out of the back.
Bring my friend here a pint of water.
The Sand Snaggler raises an eyebrow. This wasn't the Steelenburgen he had heard in legend. The bastard was acting like a gentleman.
What are you playing at, partner?
Steelenburgen cocks his head back and crosses his leg, his eyes completely devoid of fear.
You've captured me, friend. Don't you think you shouldn't be parched whenever you hand me over to the authorities? Staying hydrated is important after all.
The Sand Snaggler gave an inquisitive look before taking a seat next to Steelenburgen, who is currently taking a large swig of his mega vape, his rifle still aimed directly at his neck.
You're quite willing. You betray your notoriety. Why give up so quickly?
The Sand Snaggler's scraggly, crusty arm grasped the pint of water, taking a large swig.
You've caught me in a position of weakness. Only proper I turn myself over.
His smile was unsettling, and unfortunately, this Sand Snaggler wasn't a bustler drinker or a German mind smoker.
So I have one question for you before you take me away, friend.
Steelenburgen leans back into his chair.
Who employed you?
The Sand Snaggler cracks a small smile.
Why, the Batar Syndicate. I only came here for a supply run, but once I turn you over, I'll be legendary.
It was all in the blink of an eye. Steelenburgen drew his legendary Schlock and pulled the trigger, eviscerating the entirety of the Sand Snaggler's body, killing the majority of the patrons behind him, and blowing apart the entire side of the bar. Some good old-fashioned carnage to finish off the mission complete, and a good old-fashioned mega vape to blanket the outpost in vape dust. The bartender, shaken by death, rises from the countertop.
Why the fluff did you do that?
Steelenburgen then holstered his Schlock and grabbed his Wharton barrels, making his way out of the broken bar with a signature smile and a new mission. The end.